Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened. I moved my studio recently and it was a big deal. Like, I took it all apart, took everything. And then I went through this horrid, it was messed up. Like, I had this bizarre latency, it was kind of cracked up. And I've been trying new different things. Like, I'm using a lavalier this time to do a talking part. And I kind of handled it wrong when I did my broadcast. So I apologize about that. So I want to share my cookie story from the Junky Christmas. Now, the Junky Christmas is a William S. Burroughs, story, and a lot of people that I know, in recovery, we relate to that story quite a bit. I even have my own Christmas Day story. One year, I was going to be sick, and a friend was helping me out, but they had plans on Christmas Day, and they were at this park that doing disc golf, and it was way out somewhere. So I drove like an hour to the park from where I was, parked, and then I walked through snow like up to my knee, walking this course to find these people. And I finally found the tracks. Then I didn't even think I was going to find them. Well, then I met the guy, and I went ahead and picked up my goofballs and took them right away. I think I even washed them down with snow, a couple of them with snow, because I was trying to avoid from getting sick. It was Christmas Day. And so just like in the Junky Christmas, I got my fix, and by the time I got home, it was a good Christmas. So was the day after and the day after. And of course, that's part of the hell that you go through when you have addiction in your life. You've got to feed the monkey. Monkey food is what pills and your dope is. It's monkey food. Well, so the Junky Christmas thing. But then after I got clean, like, in fact, I celebrate 10 years on December 14th. Isn't that something? I never thought I'd see the day. But what I will share with you is a different type of addiction. So a cute little story. Many of you know that I would go home for years. My mom died in 2017, I believe, somewhere around there. I'm really bad with numbers. I invert them. I mess them up all the time. Well, my mom used to make these Christmas cookies, like tons and tons. I mean, they were everything. They had the gumdrop cookies, yeah, the chocolate chip, peanut butter, chocolate chip and peanut butter, the 7-layer bars, chocolate and peanut butter. Then there was those Hershey Kip thumb drops or whatever, peanut butter with the Hershey Kiss. I mean, plethora of cookies. I mean, she would have this table out and thing. Now, I'm the youngest of 8, and I'm the only one that doesn't have children. I never got married. Because of my addiction problem and what I was pursuing for the arts, I wouldn't do that to a female. I wasn't going to involve them in my shit, and then expect them to stick around. And I didn't want to involve kids. And, it was a high price I paid to pursue music and survive addiction. Well, so every year at Christmas, it was Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas. My father had passed away, and like it was 98, I believe, 96. And my mom had nobody, and I was her baby boy. I wasn't going to let my mom down. I was fucking there. I never missed a holiday. I never missed any of those 3 holidays. At worst scenario, I arrived the morning of, but I never missed it. And well, all the kids and my nieces and nephews, we have stories of trying to steal Christmas cookies, sneak them out from the table. Not like mine, because I was the guy who came on the scene, right? Before the holiday rush, it's like, yeah, I'm here, And my mom, she wanted me to have these cookies, right? And she, it was a big deal. Like it was something that my mom and I shared that was really, really special between us, right? And I don't know when it started, but we had this game that we would play where I would try to lift Christmas cookies from my mom, like a tin. Now, my mom would always hook me up on the way out, but if you had my mom's Christmas cookies, especially those sour cream, those things could have been burnt with a torch. I would still eat them. They were that good. No joke. I remember when your mom's like, I burnt them. Shut up, Mom. Where's the milk? I wasn't even in the house 15 minutes. I was just shoveling them things in, man. So much that even a lot of times when it came time to do the dinner, I wouldn't be as hungry. And the reason why I did that is because it's a lot of work doing those cookies. I mean, if you've made cookies, and I make desserts now and again, but I can't imagine how much work that was. And I didn't want my mom to feel like they weren't appreciated or loved, and I didn't see towards the end there, I didn't see my nieces, nephews, and my siblings like pounding them down the way that they did when we all were under one roof, right? And so it was important that my mom knew that I loved those cookies. And there wasn't a single year that my mom didn't nail me. Like a single year. Like I never got past the cookie. My mom would catch me every year. One year, I pulled some Ocean's 11 type shit. I came up with this brilliant plan, and I worked on it for a whole year. Mm-hmm. As I was leaving, it's like, Mom, I just want to let you know that work told me that I wouldn't be able to get out on Christmas Eve like I have been. I'll probably leave after work. I'll come in very, very late, possibly close to super early on Christmas morning, but I'll be there for you, right? Mom said, okay, I would tell her off and on. I think to this day, because my mom had this powerful third eye, it was like the eye of Mordor, right? She could see everything. I could get nothing past my mom growing up. Nothing. She caught me at everything. But I had this plan. So Christmas time comes, right? And I was just like Ethan in Mission Impossible. Like, I arrived early enough, right? I think it was on December 23rd that year. And I had this empty tin, and I parked like a couple blocks away. And then I walked to my mom's house, put the key in the garage door, the walk-in one, not the big door, let myself in, shut it, and went to the key. And the way that my mom's house was at the time, like there was the door here, garage door, then the front door there. You get in the garage, well, there'd be this like little entranceway, and then up around the kitchen, right? So I had to be quiet. And if my mom would have came in and checked or something, there was no way that I would sneak these cookies. But I was at the end of the table looking at that door the whole time. And I was a genius at this, man. I didn't take from the top of the cookie boxes and the tins that she had them in. That shit is for amateurs. I was a pro. I took from the bottom and I took a whole layer. Like I never left it like lopsided or whatever it was when I opened up the if it looked like that, I took a layer and it just lowered it one, but I didn't change a thing. And I loaded up this tin with those sour cream cookies and everything that I love. Oh my God. And I watched that top part of the door. My mom never came around. She never came around. So I go up to the door. I'm looking at this window. And like, as I shut the door, I'm peeking through the window, right? Lock the door. And I carry these tins all proud, like I just pulled off, the heist of the century, right? Then this is where it gets messed up. I go to my car. I empty the trunk, right? Then I lift up that panel that goes on the bottom, right? Separates your spare tire, and then you set on top for your trunk, right? So I put the tin of cookies underneath that flat thing. My amplifier was in there. It was at the time. It was a matchless Clubman head, so it was this big thing. It was heavy, man. I don't know how my mom did this. I don't get it. So I'm enjoying my trip. I went and got something to eat. Not a lot, because I knew my mom would feed me right away. And in the house, food is love with my mom, right? Most moms, right? Wouldn't you say? So then I turned around. I think it was around 6 or 7 when I showed up at my mom's. I wasn't expecting you to very late. Ma, it was slow at work. I was able to get out early. I didn't want you to, I didn't know if it was going to work. I wanted to surprise you. Merry Christmas. Ding. First thing I did, my mom comes out with this big round thing of cookies. Where's the milk, Mom? And I started eating them cookies. I was all proud. But what my mom didn't know, I had stuffed probably like 6 of them sour cream cookies, before I even got to my mom's house. So I'm there for the whole visit, right? I think it was a couple of days after Christmas. I never moved my car out of the garage. Never moved my car. And I still try to figure out, how did my mom get to my car where I wouldn't have noticed? Maybe I slept in or something. That's the only thing I can think of her. She had her own like minions or whatever. They go out there and security of the cookies, So my mom gave me this bag of cookies, and I noticed it was a little bit larger than typical. I'm like, well, Mom, you shouldn't give me this much. It won't be enough for everyone else. My mom's like, oh, there's plenty, right? I drive all the way back to Appleton, Wisconsin from Lansing, Michigan. Park my car in a garage, and the first thing I did was go for those cookies. Like, unload the trunk, open up, lift up the thing. No tin. No tin. No 7 layers. No gumdrop cookies, no sour cream. Even those little white puffy sugar things, they were gone. All of them. And this is where it gets funny. Hey, Ma, just want to let you know I made it. That's nice. Good. Was it a bad drive? No, it was fine. Say, hey, Ma, I gotta ask you something. Did you happen to find a tin of cookies? I can still remember this tin. It was square, and there was this old-timey Santa Claus on there, all happy and jolly. It was my tin. I never got it back. Like, Ma, did you find them cookies? Yes, I did, she says. Ma, would you please send them to me? No, I won't. But I will think of you while I eat them. I try everything. But Ma, I'm your baby boy. How can you do this to me? Ma, please, Ma, please. I went through all this effort. My mom was on that shit. Like, that third eye must have been, I bet you she was not good at electronics. So there was no cameras or nothing there. And where my mom lived, it's highly unlikely the neighbors saw anything. So it's as if my mom was probably sitting in a chair smoking a cigarette. A cookie has been taken. She was that good. But the story goes on, right? So I continued. I never did, from that year on, in the years before that, I never succeeded in getting my own extra tin of cookies out of that house. Fudge, peanut butter fudge walnut with walnuts. I still think of all that stuff. Then my mom passed away, right? Then around 2018, I started to notice it. Like, pretty roughly on around Christmas. Again at 2019. 2020, 2021, 2022, I noticed it. What did I notice? Christmas cookie withdrawal. My mom got the last laugh. She kicked my ass from one end of that cookie table to the other for 10, 15 years. My mom beat my ass every single time. I still miss those cookies, especially those sour cream cookies. I tried to get my sister to make me something this year. Hard no, Roger. Hard no. She's got her own kids and stuff, but she sent me recipes, and I can't cook, and no one in my life can. And so I've not had them sour cream cookies since my mom passed. And if I had to pick one out of them all, it would be those. But my sister sent me some recipes, and I think that one of my cousins got the recipe, like my mom's recipe. So I hope that little story made you guys smile and made you laugh. But as far as the Junky Christmas goes, I want to share some things with you, right? The holidays are particularly a rough time of year for addicts and alcoholics, right? In fact, there's a cute little saying that, addiction is a threefold disease. Yeah. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's. Isn't that clever? Well, I was strung out on pills for 26 years. Goofballs. Just like in the Junky Christmas. And so what I want to share with you guys is pretty important. And maybe it's with America's opioid epidemic killing so many people, it's highly likely that someone in your life or your own family, or even in your own immediate family, now I'm talking your big family and then your personal family, right? Or your friends, whatever, is struggling or has struggled or went through something or knows somebody who has suffered from the opioid epidemic and addiction and everything else, or alcoholism, especially with where we live here in Wisconsin, Bruce City, and then here in Michigan, it's everywhere. Like there's liquor stores all around me, right? And so what I can say is this, maybe you had a hard childhood, right? Maybe you were abused by your mother and your siblings, and then you grew up and you found bad relationships to get into, so your boyfriends and your husbands, as in plural, and everybody abused you, and you're messed up, and you can't seem to shake it, or whatever the deal is, whether it's addiction or alcoholism or all the other stuff. Let me tell you, I'm here to tell you that you can crawl out from that rock. You do not have to live that way. And in fact, right now, I know two people who contacted me recently to, because when I catch things, I'll comment, and they were one guy is actually in rehab right now. And let you know how bad rehab can be. I checked in on December 14th, 2014, right? My first half hour, 45 minutes there, I was talking to this lady. In fact, I was the only man that was in the rehab facility my entire stay. And I was the only person there voluntarily. Everyone else was there either court ordered or because I'm going to lose somebody or whatever deal. They had to be there. Lady asked me, so what's your poison? Mine was alcohol. And blah, blah. She told me, like, oh, wow. I was goofballs. I took them all, the enes, ons, odds, like Vicodin, hydrocodone, Oxycontin, Oxyrotin, all that, Roxycontin, and all that stuff. I took them all of them. Demerol, Percocet, and Demerol was actually pretty slick. I remember I stayed away from them for years. They were like cherry bombs, and I had nicknames for all of them. Hors d'oeuvres were Tylenol 1 through 5. Hors d'oeuvres. I could just take a handful of them. That's how bad I got after 26 years. So this lady I answered her question, right? And she started making this face. I started chuckling. I thought she was making fun of me, poking at the thing because it's rehab, right? And trying to make a light mood or whatever. And then all of a sudden, boom, down she goes, blood outside her mouth. She bit her tongue, and she was having a seizure. And that's the power of alcohol withdrawal. It could actually kill you, folks, without having some type of, help to oversee you. And that terrified me. I'd never been around a seizure before, let alone what was going on with someone in alcohol. So I thought that could happen to me. And it turns out it can't unless you have a pre-existing condition. Your opiate withdrawal isn't it's really unlikely it'll kill you. But I will tell you what it does do, though, is it makes you wish that you were dead. You can take that any way that you want. But it's the truth. It makes you wish that you were dead. And, so went through all that withdrawal and everything. So I'm here to tell you, I had a lot working against me, even though I got off the drugs, I still had problems and stuff medically that was causing pain. And the shitty thing about taking all kinds of pain pills, right, for years is your personal pain level tolerance just gets less and less and less till it's non-existent, because you just take something anytime you bump your arm. Oh, I need to take some pills. Oh, my head is sore I'm kind of hungover. Take some pills, right? Wow, it's such a nice day. I think I'm going to take some pills. Oh, it's a shitty day. It's raining. I'm going to take some pills and stay in. And those withdrawals were so bad that it scared me straight. And literally the only time that every once in a while, and I mean every once in a while, that I miss it, it's when I think about those lazy Sundays after I had, 3 days of gigs, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, or whatever. And I would make a glass of crushed ice, like a big glass of crushed ice, and I would take Coke, and then I would just kind of chew on the ice and enjoy the Coca-Cola and the crushed ice while I coasted on them, ever so loving and just, oh, so amazing feeling clouds and just coast. I do miss that every once in a while, but not enough to where I'm going to put myself to where I'm going to go through that withdrawal shit again, because no, that's just never going to happen. And like I said, I celebrate 10 years on the 14th. I'm really proud of that. Really proud of that. More than anything I've ever done. So there's a lot of resources out there to get help. There's a lot of people. Turn to someone that you love and ask for help. But don't you dare use it as a get out of jail free card. Like if you've made mistakes or stuff like that, don't say, well, I'm an addict and that's supposed to redeem everything for you. And that's just not cool. And it's not right. You're still responsible for the things that you say and do, right? And you have to, when you rebuild your life, you address those things. But there's so many resources out there now where you can get help that weren't there before. You got healthcare.gov and all that stuff. And I'm telling you, that's what saved my neck was Obamacare. So brothers and sisters, I hope this story made you laugh, and that it made you smile. Leave me a comment or something and tell me what your favorite story with your mom is, and I know we all got them because moms are special beyond measure. And I want you to know that even if you're alone on a holiday, like maybe you just went through a divorce or something, or broke up, I mean, it happens. It happens. I want you to guys remember that lots of people love you. You may not feel it or think it, but it's true. Lots of people do. You just don't pick up on it when you're feeling sad and down and beat up. But if you can't, always remember that Zumi loves you and I love you. And we're just two of many, 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 many people, right? I hope that Santa treats you good. I hope that you guys get everything that you want and that all your dreams come true. And sorry about the audio part of the broadcast. After I moved my studio and stuff, it was a big deal. And we're getting there, though. And thank you for hanging out with me. And I hope this brightened your day. Merry Christmas. Good night.